Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the differences between health sharing versus health insurance, explain why health insurance costs so much, tell you what has worked for me and why it is great for being a digital nomad or traveling. If you are new here, I have created this channel to help you learn about how to travel, adventure, and have fun on the road to financial independence. I have traveled the world, I own a couple of houses in Spain, and I'm on a creative journey to financial independence. I believe the road to financial freedom can and should be fun. I hope you'll subscribe and join me on this journey, no matter where you are starting from. I have been using health sharing instead of health insurance for about 8 years now, and I have become a huge fan, mostly because I can get my medical needs met no matter where I am in the world. And if you have traditional health insurance in the US, that's not true for you. But before I dive into the details of the differences between health sharing and health insurance, let me give you a bit of the backstory. And while you listen, you can check out the link in the description to see what health sharing would cost for you. It's no secret that healthcare in the US is messy and way too expensive. And I'm not just talking about health insurance being expensive. The reason health insurance is so expensive is because price gouging in the medical space is completely out of control. This is only allowed because the AMA, the American Medical Association, invests a ridiculous amount of money in funding the campaigns of both sides of the political spectrum. They keep politicians in their pockets, and we pay for it dearly. I'll tell you a little story just to make my point. Around 20 years ago, my younger brother sprained his ankle. I don't remember why exactly, but he ended up going to the ER to have it looked at. The waiting room was overflowing with people, so he had to sit outside on the curb while he waited his turn. He ended up getting an x-ray. They let him know it's just a sprain, and they sent him home with an ace bandage. A while later, he receives a bill in the mail for $1,200. $1,200. But that's not even the kicker. One of the line items on the bill was a $500 waiting room fee. $500, and he didn't even get to sit in the waiting room because it was too full. The thing is, politicians love to fight about health insurance, but it's just smoke and mirrors. The insurance isn't the problem, the price gouging is. Just one more example and then I'll get to the point. Many medical facilities that you may visit have something called self-pay pricing. Basically, if you don't have insurance, they charge you less, but if you do have insurance, they bill you more. Why? Because it's all an insurance scam. The medical system is set up to take advantage of the insurance companies, but at the end of the day, we all pay for it in insurance premiums. Okay, I'm going to end my tangent there. I think it's fair to say I'm not a fan of the medical system in the US. You can see the Commonwealth Fund report with the 5 areas that they assess being population health, access, efficiency, equity, and quality. Out of the 11 industrialized countries, the US continues to come in dead last. No surprise though. Okay, so now that I've laid the groundwork for why health insurance costs so much, let's talk for just a second about medical care overseas and something called medical tourism. I think because of the way the US is so inward looking, we often think that healthcare in any other country won't be as good as what we are afforded here. And sure, there are places in the world where you probably don't want to get medical care, but I've had to seek medical care in France, Portugal, and Spain, and on a trip with a friend, she had to get medical care in Croatia. And in all of those situations, it was far easier, cleaner, and less expensive than any experience I have ever had in the US. Let's talk about some cost differences for a second. Now, this first example isn't exactly for medical needs, but you might just flip your lid. In Portugal, my friend got full body laser hair removal for just around €35 per session. That means for less than €250, she had all of her body hair removed. That would cost thousands of dollars per body section in the US. Recently, I had an MRI done in Spain. The cost was €320. The cost in the US on average would be about $1,200. Now let's talk about ibuprofen. In Spain, I paid less than €2 for a box of ibuprofen that had 40 tablets, each one containing 600 milligrams of ibuprofen. In the US, if you order 120 liquid gels of Motrin, which is the same total amount of medicine, it costs over $15. When I was in Spain recently, a British friend of mine was telling me that he's going to Turkey for dental care. Of course, the Brits are famous for not prioritizing dental care, and he needs his entire mouth redone. He said that in the UK it would cost him around £15,000, but in Turkey, not only does he get it done for just under £4,000, but it includes his flight. He stays at a beautiful beachside resort for the whole week with breakfast included. They pick him up and shuttle him, and it is a very posh experience. He said in the UK there is literally a company called Turkey Teeth, and it's pretty common to see these things advertised. He showed me videos of the hotel, the beach, and the dental office, and I was shocked. It was so incredibly beautiful. And this is what many people call medical tourism, or in this case, dental tourism. But here's the thing. When you're in another country, even though it may be a lot cheaper and the care is better, if you have traditional insurance in the US, you won't be covered in those other countries and will have to pay out of pocket for the health care you receive. And this is the first difference I want to point out between health sharing and health insurance. Many health share companies will cover you no matter where you are in the world. This is one of my favorite things about health sharing. Now, before you sign up with just any company, you should be sure to clarify that this is the way that they operate. The company that I have an affiliate link to in the description meets all of my medical needs no matter where I am in the world. So you might be asking, what is health sharing? And one note I want to make is that there are distinct differences between insurance and sharing, and the wording around the two is similar, yet I'm guessing for legal reasons it's very important that they not be confused. For example, with insurance, you have coverage. With health sharing, you have, well, sharing. With insurance, you have a premium. With health sharing, you have a monthly contribution. With insurance, you have a deductible. With health sharing, you have what's called an initial unshareable amount. So let's dive into some other comparisons. With health insurance, you pay a premium, and then when something happens to you, you pay a deductible. And then the insurance covers either all or a portion of the rest of the bill, depending on your plan. But usually you still owe a part of it and can even end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. With health sharing, you become a member. All members pay something every month called a share. Some health share companies have a flat share amount, and others may have different amounts based on age and other factors. Instead of a deductible, like in health insurance, you will have something called an initial unshareable amount. Each health share organization may have different amounts available. I've been part of a plan where my initial unshareable amount was $300, and I currently have an amount of $1,000. Unlike health insurance, where you pay a deductible for the whole year, the initial unshareable amount is usually the part you pay for each injury or illness, though some companies don't make you pay that after you've had to pay it over 3 times in a year. Let me give an example. Let's say I broke my leg and my initial unshareable amount was $500. Let's say all my bills pertaining to the broken leg come to $3,500. I would pay the first $500, and then I would submit my receipts and my medical bills to the health sharing company, and they would use the contributions from other members to meet those needs and pay for the remainder of the bill. Now let's say that I had to go back to the doctor due to the same broken leg injury. All billed amounts pertaining to this injury would continue to be paid by the contributions from the other members, although some health share companies may have time limits for this, like you probably can't come back 10 years later and submit a need for the same broken leg. Now let's say that 6 months later I got a rash all over my body and my medical bills came to $2,000. Again, I would pay the initial unshareable amount of $500, and the rest I would submit as a need that the monthly contributions of the other members would pay for. It's actually so cool. You know that your share every month is going to help pay for someone else's medical bills, and you know that those members are there for you when you have a medical need. Now, I've been part of health sharing plans for over 8 years, and fortunately, I've never had to submit for a need. I'm very blessed with generally good health, but I have had several coworkers and friends who have had to submit for their medical needs, even for bills around $16,000, and they love the process. Now, one of the things I've learned is that because when you are using health sharing, you don't technically have health insurance, you can visit any doctor you want, but you do have to make sure that they accept self-pay. The cool thing about this, like I mentioned before, is that if you aren't submitting health insurance, they may actually have lower rates available for self-pay patients. This is great for everyone. Another thing to know is that most health share organizations, or maybe all of them, I'm not sure, are nonprofit organizations. The one I have an affiliate link with in the description, I chose to be affiliated with because they are very inclusive. Due to the nature of many of the health share organizations being nonprofit, many of them have certain religious requirements, but I wanted to share something here that wouldn't exclude anyone. And I also specifically wanted to share one that I know for sure will share medical needs that arise no matter where you are in the world. This is super important to me since I live the digital nomad lifestyle a lot of the year. If you don't love the cost of your insurance or don't love the fact that you aren't covered when you leave the country, I would definitely recommend checking out the link in the description, or send me an email at info@traveltomoney.com if you have any questions, and I'll try to help point you in the right direction. When you visit that link, it is super simple to put in your age and a few other answers and be able to see right there what your monthly contribution amounts would be. I'd encourage you to at least take a peek. I hope this has given you something to think about, and even if you aren't interested in health sharing, hopefully medical care in other parts of the world will at least pique your curiosity. Be sure to leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to join me every day where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.